I appreciate everybody who taking the time to tune in this YouTube and Instagram live. And today's topic, story, or message is basically the testimony that I have of how I became a believer. If y'all tuned in today, I started the morning prayer, so y'all probably got the prayer on your on your timeline or your inbox. I was doing morning prayers, texting people, asking when they're ready, and doing individual prayers. And it goes back to people like, man, how did you get faith like that? Because they know me as Prophet, the rapper. I grew up on a corner in my block. You know, we posted by the stove, and the guy standing on the corner with a pound of weed sacked out, you know, and with a black bandana on my head, with Belmont Avenue tattooed to me. And so fast forward, time go by, like, how did you become this guy coaching kids and running basketball leagues and setting up tutoring programs and praying for people and feeding people and doing all this community work? How did we get this gang banging rapper on the corner with stab wounds in him and dead homies everywhere and Belmont this, Southside this, into how I conduct myself and what I stand? Oh man, my phone dropped. I'm on two phones if y'all don't know. I'm on YouTube and I'm on Instagram. But how did I transition from that to where I'm at now, right? And it was a long, rocky road. It was a long road. First of all, I did not grow up in the church. I did not grow up in the church at all. Wasn't no spirituality in my house. My mama used to play the song, love is a 5-letter word, M-O-N-E-Y. Money, that's what my mama used to say. Love is a 5-letter word, M-O-N-E-Y. It was a blues song, you know. And so that was a household I grew up in. And we got this misperception, especially if you're not from a neighborhood, like a bad neighborhood, like the whole hood is bad. The whole hood has never been bad. It's just certain blocks in neighborhoods that make the whole neighborhood have a bad reputation. And even on certain blocks, it don't be the whole block. It be certain houses and certain parts of the block to make the whole block have a bad reputation. But my household and my area of the block is what gave Belmont Avenue the reputation that it have, and it's well documented if y'all watch the news and documentaries and stuff like that. But that's the block I grew up on. That's the household I grew up on. I didn't have to go join Belmont Avenue. Belmont Avenue was in my household, you know what I'm saying? So when people went to go do the robberies and the killings, that came from my household. And when the retaliation came and the houses got shot up, it was our house. It was my house, my auntie house next door, the store we hung at. And so that's the household I grew up in. And so and I didn't grow up in a church household. I didn't really step into a church till I was 27 years old. I used to go to churches all the time, going to funerals. You know, it's well documented if y'all been following me. Like I watched my whole generation before me, like basically get wiped out. And I said to my son, I grew up in the corner. My most popular song, hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube. Fred, Quincy, and Dion died the same month. So when I was 11, Fred, Quincy, and Dion got killed within a 3-week period. And Juicer ended up going to jail. Everybody went to jail and died. So we got left the block as little bitty boys, right? And so one of my best friends, God bless his soul, Gene Blackman, he was the neighborhood dope boy, playing with hundreds of thousands of dollars at 13 years old. We was Belmont Avenue, and I was full-fledged in it. You know, I love Belmont. I got that tattooed to me when I was a kid, right? And so I'm not going on here to tell no war stories or nothing like that. I'm just giving y'all, you know, the whole thing is how did I become a believer? And I'm just letting y'all know how I became a believer. So I'm not on here to tell ghetto war stories, like, and that ain't what I'm here for today. But I'm just letting y'all know how I became a believer, because that I just literally got asked that 100 times in my inbox, because I did the morning prayer. I was doing it with people individually, you know, and so today I just posted it online, and it went on Facebook, and Facebook is like literally like my family and friends on there too. So I'd be like, man, how did you get here? You was the rapper on the corner, the ignorant kid, you know what I'm saying, who stayed in the bug, got kicked out of every school, got kicked off every basketball team, wasted talent, stabbed up, and like everything, like we watch you on the news bleeding, and you like, that's who I was. But I'm a and so that's why I'm giving y'all the background how I became. I ain't gonna say who I am, like I'm just some holy guy, but the transition that I'm walking in now, let me say that, because I just stopped cussing a couple weeks ago when I started the 7-day word fast. But anyway, that's the household I grew up in, right? I made a documentary called On the Yard, and it was basically telling like the history of my neighborhood, Belmont Avenue, right? And it shows how Fred, Quincy, and Dion, how I talk about, they all got killed in 1991. So Dion Williams was my Uncle Russell's stepson, basically like in our household. He ended up getting killed by the police first. Then a week later, Quincy Frazier ended up getting killed, and then Fred Carter ended up getting killed. Fred Carter is my nephew, little Fred's dad, and my sister's child's father was crazy because we always thought we was cousins. Like he basically stayed with us and everything, so they ain't had no business messing around, even though it wasn't blood. But anyway, my sister ended up getting pregnant by Fred Carter, and Fred Carter got killed while my sister was 4 months pregnant with my nephew Little Fred. And the crazy part is that is my nephew Little Fred, who y'all see me with Cedrion now, that's how I had my nephew Little Fred. He ended up getting killed 20 years later after his dad got killed when he was 20. His dad got killed at 19, and my nephew Little Fred got killed at 20. Quincy, the one got killed right before Fred, they was best friends. Quincy ended up getting killed in 91. His son ended up catching a life sentence 20 years later, you know, and that's just the cycle of Belmont Avenue. And you know, that's just a story. I don't want to get all into the day-to-day stories because this is really like a movie for real. But anyway, so my earliest role models was them guys in neighborhood crackheads. Keep it all the way 100. And I know y'all always hear me say, lead with love and respect, the world would be a way better place. I got that from a guy who smoked crack in my neighborhood. God bless his soul too, by the name of Jeff T. Jeff T was the big dope dealer when we was kids, right? But he ended up smoking. But he was still like my guy. I'm from there originally. You know how people migrate to the gang and migrate to the block and they don't know all the older people, I'm really born in it. Like I didn't join nothing. I was born in it. And so all the people who came, when people start coming around later as we teens and 13, they see these guys as crackheads, but I remember when they was the drug dealers. And so that's the bond, the relationship I had with the drug addicts, you know what I'm saying? And so I never was known as a big crack dealer. This how I know God always had a calling on my life, right? Because I always cared, always had a spirit. Even though I done been on both sides of the gun and everything, I still had a sense of like, you know, right and wrong. But I was always a leader for real. I was always a leader. But what I knew my heart was different. It was a guy named DG Lee, right? DG Lee put crack in my hand when I was 8 years old and had me serving on Belmont, right? But what I knew my spirit was kind of different because I never became a real crack dealer after that, right? So all the customers all day long was my friends' mamas. And I'm like, damn, that's why they got to come over my house and eat. That's why they ain't got no TV over there. That's why he ain't got shoes. They mama is the crack fiends. And right then, because I love my friends, that's one thing. Like, I never was like, I'm a gang member, I'm going to join the gang. I love my friends and I love my neighborhoods, and I would die and kill for the love of my friends, for real. And so that is my relationship to the block. But I'm going to get on how I became a believer and why I believe what I believe. I'm just giving y'all, you know, I'm not here to tell war stories, but I'm just telling y'all, like, basically a testimony of how I got the faith that I have from coming from, I grew up on a corner in my block and started on the corner misleading the whole generation, to somebody who now coach kids, run sports leagues, and feed kids and stuff, like feed neighborhoods. But I sold crack my first time at 8 years old. A dude named DG Lee had put dope in my hand, and all the customers was my friends' mamas. But my family, even though my family is the drug dealers and the killers on the block, my family always had a good heart. So if you ain't had nowhere to go, you can ask anybody from Toledo. Not from Toledo, I don't know nothing about Toledo, but my neighborhood, the south side of Toledo, I know a lot about the south. I don't know nothing about Toledo. I can't tell you nothing about the north side, east side, west side. I never hung nowhere else, never had friends nowhere else. I'm from my neighborhood. But If you ain't got nowhere to go, whether you a kid who ran away, whether you smoke crack and don't have nowhere to go, the Watsons will take you in and feed you. If y'all can see, my last name is Ced Watson. So it was in me to have a good heart and help people, even though my family is the gangsters and the gangbangers and the killers and the drug dealers who making this block bad, but my family always had a heart and took everybody in. So our house, my house, and my mama's sister house next door was always a neighborhood hangout where the killers congregated. And so and so I had that heart in me. And so a lot of my friends came over my house to eat, because there's levels of poor in the hood. We wasn't, if you from my neighborhood, you poor, but I didn't know we was poor because we didn't go without food or something like that. Like Johnny Jordan, who grew up right across the street from me, that was poor. Like they got kicked out that house, and the house, the garage got tore down. He had to sleep under there, man. If y'all could Google Johnny Jordan right now, he ended up killing his foster mama, you know, and like burnt her, beat her, all kind of stuff. And so y'all could Google. They didn't make stories about Johnny Jordan. He grew up right across the street from me. And so I seen extreme poverty, even though we was on the same block, but I still had lights and food and stuff like that. So even though we poor, we didn't know we was poor. But and we always had, you know what I'm saying, enough to help other people. And my family is always the helpers. And then my cousin became like the town drug dealer and was a millionaire by 15. And so we had Jordans and stuff like that, even though it wasn't my mama buying it. It's our drug dealer cousin who only 5 years older than me, like got us all laced up and dressed, and you know what I'm saying, we was fly. And but he was a big helper in the neighborhood, built a basketball court in the backyard of Laurel New house so we could all hoop and stuff like that. So my family always had a good heart and always had that good heart. So all my friends ate at my house and stayed at my house who ain't had nowhere to go. So that was always in me. That ain't come from my relationship with God. That's just who I am anyway, right? So that's why I stopped selling crack at 8, right? Now, fast forward, I became the neighborhood rapper before everybody even knew me. I was the block rapper. I used to be rapping. And so in 1997, my neighborhood used to throw this thing called the Hood Stock. My homeboy Leland Rayford, a.k.a. Goozy, Toon, BP, Crooked Eye, all of them used to throw the Hood Stock in 97 at Hamilton Park. People really didn't know I rap like that yet if you weren't from Belmont or you didn't go to Libby with us, right? So anyway, they had rap and it was dope. Some girls ended up fighting. I want to say it was Carrie Coffee in the fight, I think. I don't want to throw no dirt on your name, Carrie. You know I always love you. But anyway, they ended up fighting, and the Hood Stop had ended. So my homeboy, I want to say it was Late Night. God bless his soul. My homeboy Late Night. He dead too. He was like, man, Prophet, won't you rap that rap? No, my name wasn't Prophet. Yeah, said rap that rap, right? And I had this rap called Belmont Affiliated, and it's some gang banging stuff talking about Belmont riding on the riding through. I don't even want to say the other people's name because we passed that now, but it was some stuff like that. So it was a guy from the Nation of Islam named Darnell Muhammad, never forget, or Darnell X, I forgot, because I be getting him mixed up with my homeboy for the Nation. Anyway, let me get to the point. Anyway, Darnell Muhammad from the Nation of Islam. I always took a liking to the Nation of Islam. I read Malcolm X book at 11. And so that's the contradicting of my life. I'm standing on the corner with a black bandana selling weed and stuff like that, but then it's still I go to the cut and read Malcolm X. That's how conflicted I was, you know what I'm saying? And so I always had a love for the Nation of Islam, and I didn't know Jesus because, you know, Jesus was presented to us this weak white man and stuff like that, and I just like, man, like that was the slaveholders' religion and stuff like that. I didn't understand because I never read for myself and understood the book of Matthew, the book of Luke, and you know, I didn't get that right. So I had rapped this rap. It was called Liberation to the guy, Darnell Muhammad. I think that's his name, Darnell Muhammad. He was like, said, you got so much power in this neighborhood. You a kid. And look at these grown men looking at you, man. You rapping and they all of you. You could make a change in this neighborhood, but instead you choose to pour genocide into the neighborhood. So I had this rap called Liberation. It was like, it was never Emancipation Proclamation. We still on plantations. Every day I see segregation and black incarceration. We built this nation, offer no reparation. These chains would never be breaking if we don't fight for liberation. So I was like 16 when I had that song. He said, man, you really a prophet. I don't even know it, right? Now, Flashback like 2 weeks ago, my homeboy Endo, I used to idolize Endo. He was my favorite rapper in the world, just in the neighborhood. And he was like, man, you remind me of this dude I was locked up with from Cleveland. His name's Soul Prophet. That's his real name. You should use his name because your raps fit that name. And it was, I didn't know what a prophet was, and I didn't want to ask him because I didn't want to sound stupid. Then Darnell Muhammad said, you really a prophet? I don't even know it. And so I never forget, it was all my friends like, prophet. I started saying that and ran with it as a joke, because they used to call me, if y'all remember, whoever had just a yes or no, have y'all ever seen Menace to Society? Have y'all ever seen Menace to Society on here? Because if y'all say yes, I can keep going. And like if y'all say no, I had to explain it if y'all haven't seen it. But have y'all ever seen Menace to Society? Okay. So Menace to Society, it was a guy in Menace to Society. He was with the Nation of Islam. He hung around with the gang bangers and the drug dealers and the head busters, but he always was preaching to him like, man, why you drinking that poison? He was the guy, he was Charles Sutton's son, who played The Rock in a sitcom. It was his son. I forgot his name in that. But that's what it's calling me, because I'll be on the block like, man, we need to get the Arabs out and own our own neighborhood. And stuff. I used to be talking like that at the same time, being in contradiction, doing everything wrong under the sun. But anyway, so when the dude for the Nation of Islam said, you really a prophet, don't even know what my homeboys was like, man, that's your name, prophet. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't know what a prophet was. I didn't know what a prophet was. But that's just been my name since I was a kid, right? Not saying I'm a prophet. It ain't got nothing to do with no religion thing and nothing like that. But that's how my name became. And so in high school, it just carried. And so when I dropped my first song, that I was lucky. I didn't really have to work too hard to make a name for myself locally in the city of Toledo, because my first song just was out of here, and it just took off all in every club. It was my blah, just posted by the stove, and that's one of my favorite videos, because down there everybody in the video has been murdered, even the babies you see in there, the kids, everybody, like probably 70% of the video is dead, and so it don't even make me sad. It made me sad a little bit watching, especially when I look at Fred and Day, because it was my nephews. They was real kids in the video. But like, it's like, wow, we were so close. Like, and it brings back more good feelings than bad feelings, because how close we were. But that's how, and so my name was Prophet as a rapper. My first son was My Block. Then my second son blew up Block Life. And so when people say Prophet, oh, Prophet from the Block, Prophet from Belmont, it ain't had nothing to do with no religion. And at this point, I still had no spiritual foundation. I had no faith in God. I thought if you ain't get it by yourself, it never gonna happen. If you came to me talking about anything that had to do with God, I ain't want to hear it, right? And then I was always mad at God, like, God, why you got us all my homies dead? If you help me blow up, I can get rich and get my family out, and I'm stuck. So I was mad at God. I didn't have no understanding. Then people say Jesus, man, I don't want to hear nothing about no white Jesus, bro. That was a slaveholder religion, because at the time I still never read scripture. I didn't understand that Jesus was born in Bethlehem and walked in Jerusalem where there was people of color and stuff like that. I didn't understand that he had hid out in Egypt and had to fit in with the Egyptians, and a European don't look nothing like no. I didn't understand that, because I'm just going off of what people saying. And so you say about Jesus, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, because at that time I had my own problem, my own beef with white people, being called nigger every day by the police, and I caught a felony. The police beat me up, plant crack on me. Police killed Dion. Police killed Fred. Just going through all this stuff with racist white police every single day. I didn't want to hear nothing about white Jesus, because I didn't understand that Jesus wasn't white, because I didn't read scripture on my own, right? So I'm Prophet the rapper now, right? So now this is where my spiritual walk has started. So we on the corner of, so first of all, it's a lady from my neighborhood named Shauna Townsend. Shauna Townsend, great woman, man. Her son Midnight was my guy. Midnight had a shootout with the police and got 22 years, man. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to that. But Shauna Townsend, right? She had I think she went to a Mexican prison. I don't know if she's trying to smuggle some stuff in America, but she ended up going to jail in Mexico or one of them crazy countries over there. And so she ended up getting out and coming out to be a totally different person, a woman of God. And I just loved her because her testimony was real. And she talked about God like I never heard it talked about by somebody talk about Jesus. I gravitated to the Muslims because they men. They masculine men, and only people I see talk about Jesus was feminine. And like you go for real, the gay for real. Like I'm dead serious. So I didn't want to hear nothing about it, right? So anyway, Shonda Townsend was like, Prophet, everybody in this neighborhood look up to you, whether you know or not. Even if people don't like you, they still admire and respect you. If you come to this church, I promise you, it will change you, and we could change this neighborhood. They will follow you if you follow God. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to hear that God stuff, right? They don't do nothing for the neighborhood. They just sit in church like this me talking, right? I still feel the same way for real, but I was more ignorant with it back then though. Like, and so anyway, so Shonda Towns, she had came home from the joint, the Mexican jail, came back from Belmont, and just was a totally different person. So now I kind of felt it. Like I see a change in her. And I tell everybody, man, quit God. Ooh, Jesus. Man, nobody want to hear that, man. Just show your work. Just show the work. Just, you could say more in a sermon without saying nothing, bro. And people will want what you got when you go through trial, tribulations, hell, and back, and you got an inner peace in you, a smile on your face. People want that. And they'll want what you want. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, Shonda Townsend made me kind of curious. Like, I do want to go to church, but I didn't want to go to church because I didn't want to feel like a hypocrite because I'm on the block. I'm the weed man. I'm the weed man and the gun man. I'm selling the guns in the neighborhood, the weed and the CDs. I used to get the guns because the little, well, they ain't little. I never wanted a little homie nobody, but they was younger at the time. The 900 boys, right? We from Belmont Avenue. And so we like 23, 24, the 900 boys like 19, they a little younger than us. You know, it was a couple of their people our age like KP, but that's about it. The rest of them was younger than us. And so that's why I said little homies, but I take that back. And so the love and somebody that anyway, I'm name dropping too much, but they used to bring me guns like, and a lot of 900 boys was breaking the houses, bringing me guns, and so I was the trustworthy one. They know, like, I'm not giving you no money up front. You give me the, I'll give it, I'll break you off. I was always the most trustworthy on Belmont, right? And so I used to get the guns from 900 boys, sell the guns, and break them off. My name was always good as far as like, I'm not gonna run off with nothing, I'm not gonna steal nothing from nobody and nothing like that. So everybody in my neighborhood trusted me because I never was no thief or no scam artist. And people follow me in the neighborhood. I wasn't the toughest guy, I wasn't the biggest killer, I wasn't the known knockout artist, I didn't have a lot of money, I wasn't the biggest drug dealer, but everybody know I love my neighborhood and I love the people in it, and my word was good. I wasn't gonna run off with nobody, I wasn't gonna sleep with your girlfriend, nothing. And so I was trusted, and that's how people follow. And I always had to, even know when it was time to go to war with the other side of town, I'll be front line. But I'ma still be like, man, you wrong, bro. And I, you know, I'm the rapper. And so everybody in the city was knowing me. So I know how to squash little beefs like, oh, that's the rapper. Probably like, man, that was dumb, man. He was drunk, man. They jumped, let's squash that. So I stopped a lot of BS. So anyway, I didn't want to go to church because I'm selling guns, I'm selling weed, and I'm rapping and cussing and talking about the corner in the neighborhood. So I'm like, man, I don't want to be no hypocrite, bro. I don't want to go to church. And God ain't blessing me anyway. Why I'm on this block broke? Why all my homies dead? Why, like, dead serious? So I ain't got time for that anyway. It seems like all the bad people rich. Man, my cousin right here don't even believe in God. He a millionaire. Cube don't want to hear nothing about God. He my age. He got $1 million. So I'm trying to get rich and get my family up off the block. And so that was my mindset. But anyway, it was 2 women who came on the block, right? 2 women, and they was praying over people. And I was shooting dice. I was a dice shooter. So look, let me like, all right, now let me bring a little truth though. I did get into it with people over dice games. Like, man, if I didn't shoot dice or play basketball, I wouldn't got into it with half of the people I got. I've probably been in like 150 fights in my life, and I guarantee you 140 of them started over dice and basketball games. And so we shooting dice, and I'm losing. And so the lady go talk about God. Man, I'm like, hey man, take that God out. I ain't trying to hear that, bro. Walk down $500. I'm like, I ain't cuss hard because I was always still respectful. Like, man, go on. I ain't trying to hear nothing you talking about. Man, take the Bible down the street, bro. Like, man, like, and so anyway, one of the ladies had recognized, like, you that rapper, you the rapper. I watched the documentary you did on the yard. You have a real story. You are a leader. Your name Prophet. And she was like, do you know what a prophet is? I'm like, no, that's just my name. She's like, you don't even know what a prophet is, and that's your name. That shows the calling on your life. And everybody around here look up, like, admire you and stuff like that. I'm like, these niggas don't even like me. I just got to a fight with him. Like, and it's like, man, they admire you, bro. Like, for real. And so anyway, so we end up talking and conversating, right? And she was like, look, please, can I invite you to my church? I said, look, you just seen me shooting dice. She said, that's who God uses. God uses warriors. And she said, Moses killed a man, buried him under stand. King David killed one of the man's wife, killed that man to have his wife, and just went, all these are prophets out of the Bible. And I'm like, damn, because I still haven't read them all. But I still I'm going to tell y'all where I did start getting interested in scripture. My homeboy C-Drop just came home from a 10-year bid. You know what I'm saying? He had shot somebody at 7-Eleven. That was one of my big homies. So he had came home, and he would always talk about, man, you better get your life right with Christ, boy. If you don't know about Jesus, like, and this is a gangster. And so I started respecting it. And then my favorite rapper, Scarface, had the song "Look Me in My Eyes," and he said he spoke the book of Matthew, spoke the book of Luke, and he stopped the Revelation, and he just spoke the truth on all your answers provided in this book. And right then I read the book of Matthew, book of Luke, all the gospel of Jesus, and that's why I start understanding Jesus. So now I'm more open to what these ladies are talking about, because now I know that Jesus ain't a white man. It's not a slave holder religion. The slave holder just polluted and flipped it around to control people. You can do that with any religion, any faith, any spirituality, with anything, for real. And so so when she talking to me, I started understanding, like, okay, yeah, this was, so I went to church, and it changed my life right there. It changed my life. I ended up getting baptized the next day, right? So I had some guns. I had about 10 guns. I put them in the trash can, threw them in the trash, had a whole bunch of weed left. I flushed it down the toilet. So I'm in the church. This 2005, 7. I don't know. One of them years. I forgot. So I'm in the church every day. I'm really at it, nigga. I'm broke. Like, I'm broke. I ain't hustling. I ain't doing nothing. I don't even want to rap no more. I'm really in the church, right? And so the riots come. The Toledo, they weren't even riots yet. It was 2005. It was 2005. So I went to church my first time in 2005. My first time in the church, and not a funeral, but actual church, right? It's 2005. Nazis on the north side. If y'all, I'm from the south side. I'm from Belmont Avenue. We don't like the north side. North side don't like us. It's a whole nother neighborhood, whole nother gang, right? And so they talking about they gonna march through the north side and ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. MySpace was popping at the time. My song is Ohio Players is out right now. And so if y'all been following the music, y'all know how big Ohio Player was. Man, I sampled Outkast, that all the players play from all around. Now I made it Ohio Players play, and I flipped it, hit the radio all over Cincinnati, Cleveland, Toledo, Dayton. It was just a big song, right? And so I had a lot of juice at that time. So I got on MySpace and was posting bullets. It's like, man, look, whatever body, like, we used to beef with the west side a lot. We never start shooting each other because we were still like cool. Our neighborhoods was cool, but we used to get into it and fight them in the club. It never was like we gonna kill each other, but we just they get drunk, my homies get drunk, so we end up just fighting the west side all the time. We used to be fighting the X Block and the Gear gang. But it was family. Nobody ever died, so it never went out of control. And so I'm on there. I post a bulletin. I'm like, whatever we got with y'all with the north side, this is bigger than that. We not letting no skinheads march through the black neighborhood, because pretty soon, if we let them do that, it'll be more white people who don't like black people be like, I want to join too. I don't like these niggas either. And then we'll be back like our grandparents was, getting lynched and hung and stuff like that. So I said, nah, man. And so we all went out there, the gang members and stuff like that. for the protest. I mean, for the what they about to march. My thing is we gonna kill them. Man, we gonna beat these boys into submission. We like 1,000 deep, all the gang members, right? And so at the same time, you got the good black people, the church people. We shall, all the churches, they praying and stuff. The mayor out there, we had a black mayor at that time. I think his name was Jeff Ford or Jack Ford or somebody, right? So us gang, like I'm on some bud, right? I'm on some bud. I ain't gonna lie. So I played baseball, even though I was known as a basketball player. I'm left-handed and stuff like. I played baseball, crazy in the police league when I was like 10, 11. But on Belmont, we used to play in this field by the Belmont store. Me, Stickman, Novacek, Momo, Laurel, Baby Dolphin, Q, all of us used to play baseball in the field, and I was a great pitcher. You know what I'm saying? I used to pitch. And so I see some dude, he throw the bottle. He throw a brick in the bottle trying to hit the Nazis. But in the middle of the Nazis, it's 1,000 police, so you can't get to them. They got squad cars, horses, everything, right? So I pick up my brick. The baseball player threw it. Boom! Hit the Nazi in the head. He doing this kill niggers. He doing this, you know, whatever they be doing with their head, like nigger, 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 nigger. And my brick hit him. Boom! And so everybody else start throwing. That's God bless his soul. Tier, like a North Side known member. He passed. It was Gotti, and it was a guy who he from the north, but he stayed on. He had a girl. He had did like 10 years out of the joint, but he stayed on the 200 block of Belmont. Bald head dudes have a drop top. I think his name was Hakeem. And so a lot of north side like, man, why y'all got this donut over here? Why y'all got this south side? But they were like, man, we ain't here for that. You know what I'm saying? And so it was cool. So my brick had hit the Nazi, and so and this is why I will always have love for Tier and Gotti. I don't care how our neighborhoods hate each other, because we went through a full-fledged war in 2013 where it was killed on sight. A lot of people died behind that. But my heart never turned ill towards Tier and Gotti. So the police, as my brick hit the Nazi, the police grabbed me. Tier, Gotti, and the dude I'm talking about start blasting the police with bricks, right? And so I got loose. Now we blasting the police. I know y'all. I know the whole story is how did I become a believer? I'm getting to that, right? Because at the time I'm telling y'all this riot's going on, but I've been saved and everything. I'm in this church, and they think I'm just this great good kid, right? So I'm full-fledged front line of the riot. Started the riot in Toledo for real. And so, and if y'all think I'm lying, just Google, just go on YouTube and look up 2005 Toledo riots, right? And so the whole riot come out, they shooting us with rubber bullets. That's why y'all see me at new protests. I got on goggles. I've been doing this since forever. And they be like, why you got on goggles? Because they start shooting rubber bullets. They don't hit you in your eye and blind you. And so anyway, the full-fledged riot break out. The Nazis gone. They got the Nazis out there like, we can't even save ourselves. Get them out of there. And so now it's us and the police. We blasting the police. They shooting us rubber bullets, tear gas. We run to another block, coughing, shot up. They come, we blast them with bricks. And it just went on. And then the other people came who just seen the opportunity. They start burning down stores. They weren't the original protesters, right? So a lot of them did 10 years, 8 years and stuff like that. A lot of police was looking for me after that and stuff like that. I was on the news. I was on CNN. This is footage. If y'all think I'm lying, y'all could YouTube this, bro. So my granddad called me from Pensacola, Florida, Ced Watson. He said, son, I'm watching CNN. I'm watching Osama bin Laden. Then I see you on the news with bricks in your hand. Boy, you're still a fool. That's what my granddad told me, right? And so I ended up going to church. Going to church after all that. Now I wanted it and everything. And so everybody like, oh my God, that's the guy. I thought he was the sweetest kid in the world. He just got baptized and everything. And so, but it made the power. I thought I was gonna have to lead the church, right? And so this is my first, I never attended a church before. Never, except funerals. Except Fred Carter funeral, Deion Williams funeral, Quincy Frazier funeral, Elo funeral. I just been funeral from homies getting killed. And so I never been to the church. And then I got baptized right there. So they didn't know who I was. Some people knew who I was, but overall, they didn't know who I was. And so the pastor, like, I don't think it was a pastor, but he was like, man, you a warrior. I respect what you did. A lot of people ain't feel what we did, but some people respected what we did. Even a couple police. I'm about to say the police name said he feel what we did. But yeah, so anyway. And so now the church know the cat's out the bag now. So now they done did their research. Oh, you that guy on Belmont. You know what I'm saying? You that guy from Belmont. Yeah, now y'all know who I am now. I'm a frontline 1100 block Belmont Avenue gang member. The cat is out the bag who started a whole riot that went CNN, right? And so I stayed going to church. That was my first time going to church. But it was a little relationship with God, but it wasn't deep, right? Because I'm fresh off the corner. I just threw away all my guns, flushed all my weed, but then I just joined a full-fledged riot hitting police with bricks. So that's just, you know what I'm saying. And so that kind of made me backslide because now the police looking for me and this is officer. If y'all from Toledo, Ohio, y'all remember this dude named Preston. Older, light-skinned black dude with green eyes. He hated my guts. Like, where that MF a prophet? I'm going to give him a one-on-one. And I'm like, oh, he looking for me? Tell him. This how ignorant I was, right? I run down, flag down the police like, yeah, I heard Preston looking for me, give him a one-on-one. Tell him I'm looking for him now. I was ignorant though. Bro, I tell the Preston I'm looking for him now. Tell him I'll give him a one-on-one, right? And so I'll never forget, it was Big Juicer like, man, they gonna gun your ass down, bro. You a fool. Man, if that man touch you, you better fall out and get a lawsuit. That's what you better do. You better not beat that old man up, bro. They gonna kill you. They gonna kill you, bro, for real. And I was like, yeah, they might shoot me because they've been beating me up my whole life. You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up putting new music out. And stuff like that. And so I was still I went flat broke. So I started back hustling again. So I backslided. So it wasn't. And then from there I moved to Atlanta. I had dropped this album and this documentary that showed the whole history of Belmont. And it just so I made the most money I have ever made in my life. I ain't gonna tell you how much, but I counted a lot of money and I couldn't count it by myself. Just from this documentary and this last album, in 2007, I had put out called The Heart of Toledo. It had Black Life, Ohio Player. It was the documentary that showed the whole Belmont history story. And I moved to Atlanta. I knew I couldn't get no bigger in Toledo. I moved to Atlanta and I end up joining. I had met this female I was trying to holler at, and she said, well, you could meet me at World Changers International Church. And so I ended up going to World Changers and heard Creflo Dollar speak, and it changed my life, bro. I started going to Sunday. I went to Sunday church, Wednesday church. I started actually reading the Bible and everything, but I still was rapping and still doing what I wanted to do. So it really wasn't real yet. So fast forward, I end up coming back to Toledo, Ohio, right? I moved back to Toledo in 2011 in November, and I was so depressed because I thought I was gonna blow up in Atlanta. I came back, right? I'm at my all-time low. My homeboy, the 3 DJs in Toledo, DJ Lightning Rod, DJ Kaj Boogie, and DJ J Rod, they throw this birthday bash. Their birthdays is in March every year. I want to say the first weekend in March, I can't remember, but they throw their birthday parties. And this year they had threw it in the city, like right outside of Toledo. Toledo, I had missed me because I was still on the radio. I was on the radio, and then I came home and I was gonna be the special guest performer, right? I did not want to go. I did not want to go at all. That's why I say always obey your spirit, because my spirit told me don't go. But I ended up going anyway, right? And we had to ride a party bus from Toledo to get to this city. But it was all Toledo people, so it wasn't like, it wasn't like we at a foreign city, because it's a little little town outside of Toledo. This is how my real relationship with God, where I found my purpose, happened at. So as I'm in the club, I'm turned. Like I like people thought I was high, drunk. I'm dancing with all the girl. I don't care if she was 700 pounds. I'm just happy to be back in Toledo. This is my first time out. People ain't even know I was back home, but I'm just having the time of my life. It was like it was the last day of my life. You know how people like, well, my homeboy Cube died, man. God bless his soul, man. That's my homeboy Gene Blackman. Taught me how to swim at 5 years old, right? So me and Gene, we grew up as kids. I told you already, Gene had $100,000 at 13, driving caddies and flipping paint, 13, 14 years old. So anyway, the night he got killed, right? Man, it seemed like Gene was depressed for like a year straight. He didn't even talk for real. Only when he get drunk. And then when he get drunk, I had to leave, man, because Gene get ignorant. Then he pissed on my car like a week before that. So like, man, bro, you want some bud, man? Get away from me, bro. And that was my last, and so every day he'd be at the store. I walk by, be like, what up, Prophet? What up, Kill? Like, dap it up. you know, the neighborhood handshake, but we weren't conversating like that. We just grew to be different. We still brothers, but we just grew apart. But that last day before Cube got killed, like, Prophet, I love you, my nigga. He started reminiscing over all the stuff, man. You remember we fought them people down there, we kicked in their door, they locked the door on us, and their mama and daddy and them jumped. They just telling all these stories of like, boy, why you don't hoop no more, Prophet? I thought you was dope, man. To me, you was better than everybody else. Like, he never told me stuff like that. He was like, Prophet, I just regret not investing in you when I had the bricks. Like, this is what he said. Like, man, I had a ticket almost, had the bricks. If I'd invested in you, we'd have been up out of here. And I was always kind of angry at him anyway. Like, nigga, get away from me, nigga. You rich, bro. You know I need an investor. And you sitting there throwing $10,000 in the club and stuff like that. And so I did have, like, you know, you have your secret animosities. Like, that's my brother, but I'm like, nigga, you need to invest in me. You see I'm popping all on the radio. And so I had that, and you know what I'm saying? And so, but it's still my brother, right? And so Cube, man, just the happiest I have ever seen Cube, man, because Cube was a depressed, sad, tortured soul, bro. Like, for real, Cube. You know, you say how child stars go crazy, bro, because they've been rich forever and everybody come around him with agendas. This was my homeboy, man. Cube was rich at 13 from hustling and selling dope. So just imagine the vultures who had him and stuff like that. And so it drove my homeboy crazy where he became a drunk and everything. And so anyway, Cube got killed that night, man. Broke my heart. Like, I ain't never seen Cube that happy. And so rewind time, that's what happened to me. And Cube got killed, I can't remember what year, but about 10 years before that. This was like the time of my life. I didn't even want to be there, but everybody, like, man, they taking pictures with me. Every girl want to dance with me. I love you, Prophet, your music, all that I'm getting. I ain't never had this much love in my life. Man, I'm tearing up, man. It's white people come to me like, Prophet, I love you and all this, right? So it's some dudes on the dance floor. They like, man, this nigga, man, they ain't playing our music. Why y'all keep playing this dude's song over and over? They throwing bowls. Everybody that moved off the floor because this is a dressy event. You had to be dressed up. But I'm the rapper. They ain't care. I had on black Dickies, so I ain't never dressed up. But these dudes wasn't dressed up. You could tell they had a drug dealer attire on. They had the Cardis with the Pellies on, and they just wilding, right? And so, you know, DJ Lightwire, man, why don't you lead the flow? I said, man, ain't nobody punking me, bro. And so one of the dudes come like, man, one of the girls, like, I don't appreciate you taking pictures of my girlfriend. And that made me so mad. I'm like, man, what is you talking about? You don't get out my face. And they see me front, and all the dudes who's wild, they came behind her. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they're a problem. I'm like, do you want it to be a problem? It's like 9 of them. And so, not to talk like a tough guy, right? But I was always a good fighter. And then I never been a drinker or never been a smoker. So when people who fight in the club, they be drunk, you know what I'm saying? I don't care how, like, they be drunk and smoking a lot. I was an athlete. And so if you in the club, you're not going to whoop me in the club, even if it's 3 or 4 of y'all. I never would. I could whoop 3, 4 people in the club. Plus, I mastered club fighting. We used to go to clubs just to fight. So anyway, I ended up seeing 2 of the homies from the block, even though I ain't come there with them. And I was just letting them know. I wouldn't be like, man, we about to, I was like, hey, I'm about to beat this dude up, man. Just watch out for it. Anyway, I was just letting them know. So as I turned my back, dude hit me. And it was so weak, I could have let it go, man. I ended up knocking dude out, fighting all of them. And anyway, somebody came behind me, started stabbing me in my chest and my stomach, right? And so I'm so angry. I don't even feel the knife wound. I don't even feel the stab wound. Man, I'm beating everybody up, man. So the police come in, they see me punching everybody, right? So they end up putting the handcuffs on me, like, and it's blood gushing everywhere. I'm thinking it's because this girl hit me in my nose, and they hit me with bottles and everything. But it's like, no, you ain't got no scars on your face. And it says it's coming from your shirt. So I opened up my Dickies, and these stab, I got hit here. They had to open me up here. But this one was gush. Can y'all, I don't know if y'all can see that, but this stab one just gushing out, blood everywhere, just shooting out, blood just shooting. And so the blood was shooting out my stomach, right? And it's like, we got to get you out of here. I'm like, nah, I rode the party bus here, bro. Just give me some, I'll just get some stitches when I get home. I didn't think it was that bad. So they end up taking me to the ambulance and stuff like, they put me on the ambulance, take me to their hospital. But another dude had got stabbed too by the name of Dirty V. He's screaming, and I'm feeling bad, like, man, he didn't got stabbed. He won't die because of me. It's like, you need to not worry about him. He okay, that is minor. You have internal injury. Something has hit your organ because you about to, and then they stop. I'm dead serious, just stop. Because the doctor like, hey man, shut up. And then like, they had told dude, hey, if y'all don't get Watson out of here, he's gonna bleed to death. That's what I hear. I'm like, oh my God. So I call my people like, hey man, I think they said I'm about to bleed to death. That's how I said it. I told them like, man, I'm about to bleed to death. So there's like, we gonna get you on the they said we could life flight you to either Toledo Hospital or what city is that? Ann Arbor, Michigan. They the two best trauma units around here. I said, I'm from Toledo. And they said, cool, we'll put you on a helicopter. And I never forget the helicopter, I didn't never feel it take out. They just said we here. And then I woke up with tubes in my mouth. But while I'm out, I'm praying, like as I'm coming, I'm praying to God, like, God, if it's my time to go, I can go, because my lung didn't collapse. They hit me in my intestines, so my bowels, all the stuff that's in here just floating around my body, and I was just toe up from the flow up, right? My spleen was damaged, everything crazy. My heart, I don't know, fluid got on. I don't know how fluid got on my heart, but fluid ended up getting on my heart and everything. And so I'm praying like, God, if it's my time to go, I could go, because I never thought I'd live long anyway. And that's the first God spoke to me. No, what I put you here to do, you haven't even started. You haven't even started what I put you here to do. And right then I wanted to live. So now I'm seeing my whole life go before my eyes. I had no child yet. I haven't been married. I had no girl. I did have a girlfriend. She ain't like me, and I ain't like her all like that. But I just see everything go before my eye, and I couldn't think of nothing but those riots I was in that I told y'all about earlier. That's all went before my life, and I said, no, I can't live. If I make it out of here, I'm going to appreciate the gift of today. I'm not going to dwell in the past or look too far in the future. I'm going to make the most out of the day, because I was always depressed and stressed because I wanted to blow up so bad as a rapper, looking at the future. And I'm thinking about my dead homies, all the stuff I lost, looking too far in the past. So I never appreciated today. And that's where this phrase come at. God gave me a gift, and it's called today. And I said, if I make it out of here, I'm going to celebrate. I don't care if it's a white man pagan holiday. That's why y'all can't stop me from celebrating Christmas. Y'all can't stop me from celebrating nothing, because I understand it's a gift. And God said, what I put you here to do, you haven't even started yet, right? And so that's the first time I kind of heard God, bro, laying on my deathbed with all them stab wounds in me. And like if it's my time to go. And at that moment, I know I lived a terrible life, because I couldn't think of nothing on my deathbed but the Toledo riots that I was in. That's all I could think about, was the Toledo riots. And so yeah, and so that's why I knew my purpose. I wasn't supposed to rap no more. I wasn't supposed to hang on the corner no more. I wasn't supposed to throw up the neighborhood no more. I was supposed to lead people into the kingdom of Christ, into God's kingdom. And when I got to the hospital, I was thinking about it, but I still wanted to make music. I still want to do what I want to do. So like, I'm dead serious. So fast forward a year later, how y'all see how I got my son Cedric, coach him basketball and teach him all this stuff. That's how I have my nephew Fred. Fred ended up getting killed in 2013. So everything that I was supposed to do got thrown out the window. Man, they done shot my baby funeral line up, and they done made sons disrespecting them. And so at that time, I've been removed from the streets, because I'm old at this time. I'm 32 years old, and so all my little homies and nephews been saying like, man, like, why you trying to do all this peace stuff, man? They out here killing. Like, and at that time, I was like, man, just let it go, bro, let it go. But after that happened, and the disrespect I saw from the north side, bro, they making songs, everybody sharing all the positive people y'all see throwing these peace events and book bag, man, they sharing the songs where these people disrespecting my dead nephews and stuff like that. And I let all the gloves off, man. I said, man, I hate everybody from over there, bro. And joined full-fledged front line. God was out the window. I was in pure murder mode, dead serious. And so but time go by, I knew it started hitting my spirit. Nah, this ain't what you here for. This ain't what you here for. This is not what you here for. This is not what you here for. Then I seen my son be born in 2016. Right then, I knew God. I knew the presence of God for real, bro. And I really know I'm really gonna walk full-fledged in my purpose. But I still wanted to do music. I still wanted to be in the neighborhood. But right then, like, that was the real changing point. right then when I seen my son be born. It wasn't it was me getting stabbed, and then Fred, and then those was just, I knew that it reminded me of when Jonah was supposed to do what God wanted him to do, and he still wanted him to do, so he got swallowed up by the whale and all that. That was me. I got swallowed by the whale about 10 times, knowing I should have been doing what God wanted me to do. You know, but when Cedric was born, that kind of did it. Uh, and then when I made the transition down here, I kind of gave up music and then said I'm gonna do inspiration through fashion. But then as I started coaching them kids and stuff like that, and I started speaking more on the internet, and it was this white girl had all her wrist slit, and she said, "Thank you, God, for your message, because I was gonna kill myself today, but your message really stopped me from killing myself." And I was getting messages like that every single day. People like from the other side of town who I wanted to kill, bro. Not so much of them, but just people from over there. Like, man, it's so great to see your transition, man. You being with your son made me want to be a dad, and just because of you, you made me want to study scripture and stuff like that. And that was, and I start feeling God using me, and then I start feeding and speaking in jails and coaching kids, and that's when I really start. I'm gonna walk full-fledged in my God-given purpose for real. Start going to the Dr. King Museum more. That's a man walking his purpose, and that's how I really. It wasn't one thing. It was me getting stabbed. It was me when Fred got killed. It was the birth of my son, and it was just all the Instagram, bro. Instagram really did all the messages I get from Instagram. I used to post them and share them, like some of the messages I get, but stuff like that, like, man, like I ain't believing nothing, bro. You made me want to like believe in God, bro, and stuff like that. And stuff like that, I was like, this is what God put me here to do. It I supposed to been doing this. So y'all see me what I'm doing now. I supposed to been doing this for real. I was just running from it, you know. And then I had to drop my name Prophet because as a rapper, I wasn't getting. I ain't have all the religious Pharisees and people want to stone you. So it wasn't. But now you're not a prophet. You're a false. I mean, I like my name ain't Prophet for that. My name was Prophet when I was frontline gang banging. So like, stave your religious debates. And so I said, you know what, man, I'm Ced Watson, bro. I'm Ced Watson. I don't want no, like, nah, I might turn up, like, I'ma just do what God want me to do. But that's how I became a believer. I done took y'all about an hour on here. I appreciate everybody who took out the time to tune in. I wish I'd have went on Facebook Live because I think they were related to it a little more because they, you know, I know more, like, know the stories personally and know the people I'm talking about. But I appreciate everybody who took out the time to tune in. Yeah, but that's how I became a believer, man. It was a long journey. And so a lot of people from my neighborhood be like, how did you become a believer like that and gave up your business and stopped doing music and all that to serve? Was it from when you got stabbed? Or was it when Fred got killed? Was it the, like, it was a combination of all that. Everything was just letting me know what I should be doing. God speaking to me. But I still did what I wanted to do. You know, but yeah, that's what happened, man. I appreciate everybody who took out the time to tune in, and I am out.